Why am I on TikTok? Why do I share the things that I share? Why do I give so much free education about water? There was this person yesterday that I connected with from TikTok, and we were on a phone call, and he was like, you have to share your story. Like, you need to let people in why you do this, who you are, where you came from. So let's get into it. This is going to be about my story, how I came to find the water. So if it doesn't interest you, go ahead and swipe on through. But if you're curious to hear more from me and who waterbeeing is, pull up a seat. And you might do nothing with this information, or it actually might be really, really impactful and helpful. So where do we even start right now? Let's go back to 2020, before the water came into my life. I had just gotten out of the United States Air Force. I served 6 years active duty, and prior to that, I had gone to school for criminology. I had gone to school for dental, and at that time of getting out of the Air Force, I was going to school for dietetics and nutrition. So when I got out of the Air Force, I was a health and fitness coach. I was looking for a full-time career. I was looking for something important to do, something impactful. When you are in the military, it opens up a lot of jobs for you when you get out. So getting a job was no issue for me. I had so many opportunities, people reaching out, different, headhunters offering me different positions, and I just didn't want to sell my soul. I wanted to do something that lit me up. I wanted to do something important and purposeful. I wanted to help people in a bigger way, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and I didn't know what that was or what it looked like. So I was kind of in this in-between place of didn't want to just go exchange my time for money and just do whatever. So I went back to bartending for a little bit because I knew I could make money with that and it would give me some time to figure it out. Then the world shut down. So I was really forced to sit with myself, to slow down, to take account of things in my life, to evaluate myself, my personality, my habits, my routines, and I just really began to question a lot. At that time, I was very healthy looking on the outside. I come from the bodybuilding world. I come from the nutrition world. In the Air Force, I did all things health and wellness. I ran a gym. I did PT testing. I educated people on nutrition. I was a CrossFit instructor, personal trainer. Drinking water was not an issue for me. I was that chick that was always carrying around a gallon of water with her everywhere she went. And despite doing so, I had IBS, I had GERD, I had low energy, I had digestive issues, I had brain fog. I was diagnosed as ADHD and I was taking 30 milligrams of Adderall a day. I was a slave to stimulants and caffeine. I had allergies. I would get headaches. I would get UTIs kind of randomly. And I just overall had some anxiety, had some depression. And long story short, I ended up at a retreat in Vermont. And they happened to have this water there that I had never heard of before. And I specifically remember showing up at that retreat on Adderall and having an energy drink in my cup holder. And I start drinking this water, and the best way that I could put it is that it made me feel electric. It made me feel alive. At the same time, made me feel calm and grounded and connected. And I'm like, what is this water? Why have I never heard about this before? And it was almost a little bit embarrassing because as an online health and nutrition coach for women, here's this water that I've never even heard about before. So I drank that water for a week and it completely changed my life. I could not go back to bottled water. I could not go back to Brita or Berkey or some of these other types of water I had been drinking, I could tell there was something significantly different about this water. And I'm talking about the energetics of it. I'm not just talking about the taste. Even though it tasted amazing. It tastes soft and smooth and silky and just super clean and like water is supposed to taste. So I drink it for that week and I'm like, I can't go without this water. I have to keep drinking this water. So I financed a system, not doing any research into this technology, this company. Didn't even like think, oh, this could be a scam. I just knew in my heart that God was leading me to something. I felt there was something very, very different about this water. And a little other piece to this story is before I even went on this retreat, I remember sitting outside one day doing some breath work and I just kind of like broke down and I felt really low and I was just like, God, please show me my purpose. Crack my heart open. I want to help people. I want to help myself. Like, show me what to do. Show me where to go. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for my purpose to be shown. I felt very lost. I felt very purposeless. And I think a lot of people were kind of in that place when the world shut down. And that's kind of what led me to be on this retreat. And at this retreat, my eyes were open to this water that if I had come across this online, I probably would have thought it was a scam. It would have went in one ear and out the other. I probably wouldn't have paid a whole lot of attention to it. The fact that I was able to just experience the water firsthand and let it speak for itself and not have any built up expectations in my mind of, oh, this is some special suppressed water, or this is the most superior form of water I could be drinking. I just drank the water because it was there and I had access to it. And for that week, my IBS symptoms disappeared, my allergy symptoms disappeared, my trouble of concentrating and needing Adderall disappeared. So all of these things that I was used to dealing with that I thought were just kind of normal and part of my reality all started to subside. And it really, really caused me to be like, okay, there's something to this. And it's not the mind. I feel it. I feel it on a cellular level. I feel my blood coursing through my veins. And that was something I had never experienced before. Just such presence in my body as I'm drinking this water. And then also not needing or craving coffee, not wanting an energy drink. That whole week I didn't touch my Adderall, I didn't touch my energy drinks. I felt completely whole and satisfied just simply drinking water, and that was unheard of for me. So with zero research, I took a leap of faith and I financed one of these systems. And at that time, I was in a relationship and I went back home after the retreat and I had my car full of jugs of this living water. And he came out to help me unload and he's like, what is this, moonshine? Like, what are you doing with all this water? And I'm like, it's living water. We have to drink it. And he's like, okay, well, what happens when it runs out? And I'm like, it's not going to run out. I got a system. And at that time, we were in the middle of moving to Florida. Everything was all budgeted out. And I did not tell my person that I was going to invest in one of these systems. And he immediately is just like, what the heck? Like, you got scammed. This sounds like an MLM. This sounds like a scam. I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you didn't talk to me about this. So he gets online to prove to me that I got scammed. And he starts doing a bit of research. And he's just like, I think you're onto something. And he's like, matter of fact, a woman I was doing a mortgage for 10 years ago tried telling me about this water, and I didn't listen at the time. That was a huge relief to me when he's like, I think you're onto something. Because I knew in my heart I was onto something with this water. So I start doing all sorts of research, having the background that I have, criminology, dietetics. Head on over to part 2 of this video.